How do you make more money in your life without actually making more money? Now, it's actually not clickbaity, John. It's a real thing. And what we're going to do today is go back to grassroots, if you're new to the money world, if you're new to our podcast, and talk about spending, saving, cash flow plans, the spending plan, a budget, whatever you want to call it. John, I reckon the best way to get a pay rise is to optimize what's coming in and get on top of your money and manage it better. A lot of times people be like, oh, I'm poor, I'm living week on week. But they haven't got a spending plan. They haven't got a money system. They are just rolling in and rolling out and being fast and loose, and they wonder why they can't get ahead. You might be on the other side of the ledger where, yeah, you had the budget, you had the spending plan, life happened, it got sloppy over Christmas, and it's September, August now, and you haven't actually got back onto it. So this is an encouraging episode for you to optimize your income and your expenses. And I can guarantee if you start to treat your money and your income with the respect that it deserves, you'll get respect back and you'll get outcomes. A lot to say there, John. You've got a heap of questions that you want to ask me.
Yes, because you're the expert in this space.
Well, John, stop it. I mean, keep going, but stop it. Any high level, because you coach a lot of people on their property journey and that involves money, what are your high level comments on this whole budgeting thing?
Yeah, look, it's the foundation of what we do, isn't it? So when we go back to the basics of cash flow management, we're doing it from a place of ensuring that you've got your foundation set to be able to go and do those sexy things like investing in property or shares or buy a business or start up a business or whatever it might be. It all comes back to that foundational structure that you've got, and we always say it's not what we turn over, it's what's left over. So we can control.
Do we always say that? Do we?
We do, yeah. Oh. In our world anyway.
Right.
So don't know what happens over in your world, but
mate, it's wild over in my world, and I'm doing this episode for me.
Well, and this is the beautiful thing about what we do and talk about on a regular basis is we give ourselves a clip behind the ears and say, well, yeah, we probably need to be practicing what we preach.
Yeah, and we're not above anything that we talk about on this podcast.
No, we are not. And maybe that's why occasionally people tune in. But yeah, look, it's and you're right, no one is above it. And we consistently, like our health and fitness, again, what we say over here, we talk about checking in with our health and fitness goals.
Okay, wait. So health and fitness, I haven't heard those words ever.
Two very important words in people's life.
Yeah, new to me.
Because, like, I don't know, and you mightn't be privy to this information, Glen.
Probably not.
The healthier you are, the better chance you've got of living longer.
I know a lot of healthy marathon runners who have dropped dead from a heart attack.
Well, there could have been some underlying issues there that may have been genetic or whatever.
On balance, if you're healthy, you will live longer.
Yeah, correct.
There's always outliers, isn't there?
There always is. So we're checking in on that on a regular basis, or we should be at least.
And it's funny, the outliers, the idiots like me will always bring up the outliers.
Yeah.
But it's like, no, zoom out.
The haters.
Yeah, zoom out and have a look on balance.
Yeah, that's right.
And I've found in my own financial journey and talking with thousands of people over the years with their money, you get results with what you pay attention to. So forget asking about, should I want to get a pay rise because I'm living week on week. I just need an extra $50 or whatever from work.
Solve the world's problems.
Well, friggin', have you got your own house in order?
Yeah.
And there was a prophet 2,000 years ago who said, those who are faithful with little will be entrusted with great things. That's the Glen International version.
Jeez, that is, it's gone another level, that.
It really has.
And you and I were in a meeting not that long ago where there was a person in that meeting that said, well, I'm not okay with this increase in cost But if you strip that back, you clearly see that, well, if you made a few changes in your life,
Yes.
you with me now?
You're picking up what you're putting down. That's, okay, let's go there. And this person would probably say, and they've said it to me, John and I were in a meeting and we'll keep it very vague and high level.
Very vague.
I mean, hey, mate, if you're listening. Someone was saying they didn't have the money to do something. And they were bitching and moaning and blah, 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 blah. And I'm also turning this up for the entertainment value. But if they stop spending $200 or $300 a week on boxes of things with cans inside that they were drinking.
And that's not an exaggeration, by the way.
Yeah. They would have an extra $200 or $300 a week to put to investing and all that. So, again, this is it's an episode for the newbies who are new to money. It's an episode. It's an episode for those who are in the trenches week on week, like me. You've got your Glen James spending plan set up. You're going along. You've got sloppy because we all get sloppy. I've got to go in and update I just had my income protection renews for the year. I've got to go and update the figure in that and do maintenance. Your budget, your spending plan is a living and breathing document. Things change. So it's an episode for those. It's half time. Come in and get some oranges. And it's also an episode for the haters. So you can hang off every word we say and put it online in other places to say how much these guys are cockheads and idiots and don't know what the hell they're on about.
Keep hating.
And to that, I would say, you're right. I've got no idea what I'm doing, and that's why you need to do you. And
because some have oranges at 3/4 time, not half time as well.
Right.
That's important to add.
Do they do the oranges at the AFL, like for the kids stuff?
Yes, the kids rock off on them. Yeah. One thing you mentioned there, the spending plan.
Yes.
I come across that quite often because clients that jump on board our buyer's agent service, we've got actions that need to be completed prior to our first meeting, and one of those is obviously our cash flow management, making sure we've got that in order. What are we saving? And a lot email me saying, is it okay if I just send through the GJ spending plan? I'm saying, well, I don't know if that's up to scratch, but of course you can.
Oh, yeah, look out.
And I look at it and it's like, it's actually a pretty good tool. So if you haven't got that,
well, the goal, like with the Glen James spending plan, and we'll put a link in the description and the comments and all that, do it. It doesn't solve the world's problems, but it gets your behavior reset and on track. Now, if you haven't had good progress with your own system, your system might suck. Try mine. Try John's. Try the butcher, the baker, the candlestick makers down the road. I like to say that every couple of episodes. It's fun. Rolls off the tongue.
Yeah, it's been 8
Try
years.
a system. If none of those work, you can go back to your crap one, but just got to do something different if you want a different result. This episode is brought to you by Sphere Home Loans. We are big believers in using a mortgage broker for your first property, your second property, your upsize, your downsize, your side size, your low size, your high size. We believe you go to a mortgage broker who are competent and qualified they'll ask you the right questions about your goals. They'll ask for high-level information about your financial position. And if you need to refinance your home, if you're on a terrible rate with a terrible bank or whatever, they will present you with options. If you've already got a mortgage broker, we're not interested in stealing business from other businesses. Go back to your broker if you have not, because we're just pro-mortgage broker. I'll send people to Sphere all day, every day. But if you've got your own mortgage broker, go back to your own broker. We just don't want to take clients from good businesses if they haven't looked at it within 12 months. Now, if you haven't heard from that broker in a million years, they've got a bigger issue in their business and maybe they don't deserve to keep business if they can't look after it. This is an ad for Sphere, not a rant about running a business. You can do that on the This Is Business podcast. Have a listen to that. But my name is Glenny J. You are?
John Pidgeon.
Let's talk 101 budgeting. You're listening to Money, 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 or as the regulars like to call us, M3. Everything discussed on the podcast is general advice only, which I'm licensed to give, and details can be found in the show notes. My name's Glen James, former financial advisor, now podcaster. I host this show and a show called Retire Right. I've also got a book called The Quick Start Guide to Investing, which you can check out wherever good books are sold, or there's a link in the show notes. Otherwise, thanks so much for listening today. Now on with the show. I don't love the word budgeting because to me it feels restrictive. But John, you've got a heap of questions, and we'll see if we can get through, a heap of them in some time. But
yeah, look, I've been up all night prepping this, and it starts with the category, if we want to call it, of mindset and philosophy.
Right.
So, what does, I've never heard this term, life on own terms?
Or loot.
Oh, loot.
Yeah.
That's the acronym.
Yeah. So
what does it mean to you, and how does budgeting make it possible?
Yeah, so basically I sent John a heap of questions and he was up all night sleeping because I'm like, John, I want to do an episode on spending and budgeting. So I sent him some questions to ask me. Okay, this is showbiz,
the
baby.
Backstory, I just make Glenn look good every episode.
Pretty much. So my whole thing was, a few years, like 2020 or whatever, 5 years ago when I wrote my first book, Sort Your Money Out and Get Invested, there was this really big popular thing, and it came out of the US, and it was financial independence, retire early, and it was all well and good. I was always like, well, what about we just aim for financial independence? Why are we slaving away to retire early if we had our job and all that? If you want to retire from something, you want to escape from something early. Why don't you just fix the issue that's causing the pain and get on with your life? And that's why I kind of started to think about, well, my own personal mantra is I want to just live life on my own terms and live that loot lifestyle. And the spending plan is the basis of everything that we do in our life. We've got money coming in, we've got expenses going out, we've got savings. It's just this whole vibe where we've all got a spending plan. John, you could be in hospice next week. You will still have income and you'll still have expenses. Until probably you're 6 foot under or being thrown in the kiln for 40 minutes, for a few weeks after, you're still going to have expenses. Granted, the estate will sort them out for you, but we've all got income and we've all got expenses. And we have to have some type of system that manages that, but also facilitates the life that we want to live. So my question to you, do you hate your life? Do you hate your job? Do you hate Mondays? If the answer is yes, guess what? Mondays don't suck. Your life sucks. And that's harsh to hear, but how can we start to move in a direction where we go, okay, I don't like this situation. How can I start to really move in a direction that I like? Maybe it is a tweak to my budget or spending plan, and maybe I need to just start moving from this current situation that I'm in.
And I think life on own terms will constantly change as well, won't it?
Yeah, because your terms may change.
Yeah, what I want at 25 and what I want at 35, 45 are going to be different. Could be completely different. But understand that it's you've got to be agile with it and make sure that we're moving with your life accordingly.
Yeah.
So an example of that is I'm 25, I'm single, no other commitments in my life, might have a dog or a cat or whatever. I'm 45 and I've got 3 kids going through school, and I've got a partner, and we've got this joint income stuff going on, and we've got lifestyle, and we're on holidays and all this. So it's a completely different life, isn't it, to the 25-year-old individual. So we've just got to roll with the punches.
And I think that whole thing is, are you a victim of life, or are you getting out there and are you driving your life? And crap happens to everyone. There's always going to be a storm that comes up every now and again. Some of it, if a storm comes into your life, some of it will be out of your control. And you can, you've just got to weather the storm. You've got to, get through it. It will pass. Other storms we create ourselves via our stupidity.
Well, we've built a straw shed instead of a brick one.
Well, yeah, or you've done something dumb. Like you've went and gambled all your money and you've lost all your money. Well, you created that financial storm in your life because of your own actions. So
It snowballs.
it snowballs. Now, so
that sort of rolls into the next question, why we think so many people fail with traditional budgets.
Because they see that as restrictive and hard. Or
too many barriers?
Or
many
number one, I've
constraints?
never been taught how to manage money. I don't know how to manage money. Or if you're someone like me, hi, I'm Glen, I'm a recovering spender. I don't want to be restricted with my money. I don't want to budget. I don't want to be told what to do.
So is it procedure or mindset?
It's probably both. And that's why when I created the Glen James spending plan, I really did try and – because that plan and that system is basically it was designed for me, but I also thought about the savers and as well people like me, the spenders. Like it's not a zero-based budget. If you're an engineer, an accountant, an actuary or whatnot, you might run a budget where you spend $6.50 on a coffee down the road. You're going to log that, allocate it. Yep, all right, I've spent that. For me, that falls under the category of life's too short. Just give me a few $100s a week to blow on whatever I want with some guide rails.
Yeah. Remember when we weren't even going to contemplate paying $5 for a coffee?
I know. Welcome to life.
What about our approach to removing the budget guilt people often feel? Like, how do you attack that? Because it's now versus later, isn't it?
Yeah, I always like to think in my life, overall, my financial plan is I give some, I save some, I spend some in that order. The saving part is like investing for the future or whatnot. So I want to be generous with my money. I want to invest for the future and I want to live today. Another way I look at it is I always want one eye on today, one eye on the future. So we've got to have this dance. So you talk about the budget guilt. I think it comes back to our money systems need to be set up, and this is what I've tried to tackle, that gives so if you do it wrong or if you aren't aware of who you are, both roads can lead to guilt. So let's have a look at it. I'm a spender. I've got no guardrails or whatever. I spent all this money. Crap, I'm guilty. I'm a saver. Oh, I went and spent $100 at, I don't know, insert Country Road or I don't know, where do people shop these days? Target, Kmart, whatever. I've spent $100 at Kmart, I feel guilty. So both roads lead to this budget guilt. So that's why we have to have a system that's set up that allows, and this is what I've tried to do with my one, it gives the savers permission to spend guilt-free. It gives the spenders guardrails so they don't overspend, trying to remove that guilt with spending.
What about those that are at the other end that are saying, I'm putting everything towards the future and not enough now? Are they getting guilty at all?
Yes. So potentially, if you draw that pie, give, save, and spend, right? Let's have a look at the three because these are kind of, it's a good thing you asked.
Thanks.
We want to try and have some balance with our money. Let's have a look. If we gave all our money away, you've got no money to spend and you're not looking forward for your future. Like, don't be a martyr. It's okay. Put your oxygen mask on first, then look after other people. So we want to do that. Now, if we save all our money, well, we're not living. We don't get to, loosen up a bit. You're allowed to spend some money, enjoy the fruits of your labor. And then it gets to the point where, well, if you're saving all your money, you're also getting into this tight-ass thing and you don't have a generous heart. Now, you can give in a lot of ways, but I'm just talking financial.
Yeah.
Please hear me out. If you don't ever want to be a financial giver and you've got the capacity to, I think you are actually a tight-ass. But there are people who legitimately don't have the financial means to give.
Yeah.
And if you are one of those people, I want you to find a cause that reflects your values and just start to be a generous giver once you've got your house in order. If you do not have the money to give at the moment, can you give blood?
Yeah.
Can you give your time? Can you give a flippant smile to somebody?
That helps. Yeah.
So if we're saving all our money, we're not enjoying life, and we're bordering on being a stingy, heartless, it's all about me. Now, if we spend all our money, that's really bad as well, because we're not saving any for the future and we're not being generous because we're too busy living the big life. And that's and that usually, if you're a big spender like me or a natural proclivity, the financial generosity kind of is a bit of a bedfellow with that personality.
Yeah.
So I think it's all about balance or blend. And there's going to be different times in your life where you might do more saving than spending and giving.
Okay.
There will be different times.
If we've got to the stage where we've now got an amount or a percentage or however you want to use it or structure it, how do we then work out what's worth spending money on?
I want you to check that microphone.
How do we work out what's worth spending money on and what isn't?
Well, I think it goes back to when I have my own money and my budget. It's almost like you want to set up your spending plan, budget, whatever you want to call it, consciously with a values-based lens. So can you think of something that you're spending right now or you're doing that actually has no value to you, and you just got caught up? Oh, I'm paying for someone knocked on my door and I'm giving to the local cat shelter because I had no boundaries and I couldn't say no.
Yeah.
But I don't value the local cat shelter.
Yeah.
I want to give to the UNHCR or something like that because I value people over cats.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not saying it's wrong to give to the cat shelter, but I want you to do an audit. All of your spending, what do you value? Now, for me, an example might be, I've said this before, like my table and chairs at home. I don't value buying brand new designer crap. I don't care. I got it off Marketplace for cheap. So for me, it's everything that I do is like, do I value this to invest into it? I value quality over quantity potentially. So I think when we do our budget, we have to have that values-based spending lens.
Yeah, like it. Systems or willpower? And I think we touched upon this a little bit before. It's like, is it the procedures or is it our
I think
mind?
it's probably both. And that goes back to you need to really, really know as a person what your natural proclivity is, whether on balance you're a spender or if you're on balance a saver. What are you on balance, John?
I would say I'm a saver, but I'm getting a better spender.
Yeah. See, it's funny. I was pretty much loose spender.
Yeah.
But now I'm getting older and I've sorted out, my psychology thing with knowing one of my schemas was insufficient impulse control.
Yeah.
And undiagnosed ADHD.
Yeah.
I'm actually getting really good at saving money.
Yeah, that's good.
It's weird. And even, that coffee machine out there that I bought for the studio, the old Glen would have bought a $3,500, $4,000 Giotto for the office, but I just bought a $700 Breville. Granted, it's about to be thrown out because if you want 5 people that want a coffee in a row, the steam wand isn't going to do it, but probably won't because we don't make it enough. So for me, I've become more measured and considered with my spending.
Yeah, yeah.
So I think it is about knowing who you are, what your natural proclivity is. If you don't know, ask someone really close in your life what you are.
Yeah, it's important to understand your personality, isn't it? Levers of budgeting.
Yes. So when we have our spending plan or budget, we only have 4 main levers to pull. Some of them we can pull them together.
Yeah.
Some of them we don't want to necessarily pull. Granted, there are times in life where we need to pull one lever or push it the other way or whatnot to have this balance. There is no right or wrong with budgeting, or managing money. But if you can somehow set up your life So on balance, at the end of the year or at the end of the financial year, you can live on less than what you've earned, maybe save or invest the rest and give some money, you're fine.
Yeah.
Because we just don't want to be going backwards with consumer debt. So the first lever that you can pull in your budget is the income lever. Can you increase the money that's coming in? Might be possible, might not. Can you retrain? Can you do overtime for a season? Can you pull that lever? And that could be up or down. So you might pull that lever in concert down. So I need to go back to part-time because I'm going to do some part-time study. So I'm going to pull that lever. The second lever is decrease savings.
Yeah.
So I've pulled the income down. I've pulled the savings lever down because I'm not going to save as much or at all because my income's dropped because I'm going to restudy and train or whatever. Then I'll turn the income back up and the savings back up. So the second lever is to decrease savings. When I say savings, that's the catch-all for any investing, P&I on investment loans, extra mortgage repayments, salary sacrifice, stuff that gets left over and allocated to the future. Now, the future, allocated to the future, that could be I'm allocating this $100 a week to my holiday fund next year. Okay. The third lever is we look at a budget line item. An example I might use is the budget line item of subscriptions. So the third lever is to review a line item. So what subscriptions do you guys have at home?
Seems like everyone available, to be honest. Foxtel.
Yeah, so I've got
Apple, Netflix, Stan.
Paramount.
No.
Can I see Amazon?
Actually, no.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I've got Foxtel, Amazon, Stan, Netflix, Paramount, and Apple.
Yeah, you're going well.
So, but I see that, okay, this is funny. Very interesting. For me, how much is Paramount a month? Let me just do this in real time. I think it's only like $80 a year or something.
Is it?
Oh, it's not much. Let me just have a look. Starts at $7. Yeah, plans start from $7 a month. Like, it wasn't expensive. And I worked out at the time where, you know, I watched a series on Paramount.
Yep.
And then I looked, I'm like, and maybe as well because I'm a content creator, I'm like, that series alone was worth paying $80 for.
Yeah.
And I get it for the year. So for me, having all these subscription services in this line item, I genuinely use them all.
Yeah.
I don't use Foxtel much. There's a show that I'm watching. It's probably on the chopping block, to be honest, Foxtel.
Is it?
Yeah, because I use it for the
sport's
sport,
probably
but
the main one.
sometimes the financial stuff that I need. If something's happening in the world and I want to go to the business channel, I don't know about Sky, but whoa. Here's a tip, everyone. Putting on Sky News after 8 p.m., that's a wild time.
Is it? Gets pretty rough?
Oh, it's just... Anyway.
Rubbish.
So we can review a category.
Yeah.
So that could be, okay, I want to, one lever is I want to review a category. So I'm going to cut out 3 of the subscriptions and just keep Netflix, Stan, and flipping Paramount or Apple.
Yeah.
The next lever you can pull is to cut a category out completely. So we want to get scorched earth. We want to really turn our budgeting up. We're just going to use the free version of iView. We're going to use the free version of YouTube. We're going to use the free version of SBS. We can still watch crap, but we might use Aunt Sally's flippin' Disney.
Because it means little to us. It's not...
Well, it's just once we get the spending plan set up and we get into like optimizing, how can we really optimize and value-based play?
But do you want to take something away that you really value in your life for the base of saving?
But I'm not removing, I might spend $500 a year, $1,000 a year on subscriptions. I'm not one cancelling because I use them all.
Yeah.
I don't use anyone else's because I don't want to steal. Like, I literally pay for the ones I use and value paying for content. But that's, again, a value play for me. I personally see value in paying $80 a year or whatever it is for Paramount, and I pay yearly. It's actually not that much. It can be an ad for Paramount. Come and sponsor me. I'll be the advocate for Australia.
Yeah.
But I see the value in it, John.
Yeah, it's good.
So the 4 levers: increase income, decrease savings, review a line item, or cut something out completely. Now, the more you want in terms of financial success, and reviewing a line item could be, well, we know in this area we're paying $150 more for rent than what we could if we want to take that $150 and put into savings or something.
Yeah.
So the key things that we want to do is increase income and decrease expenses and not move the savings. Now, if expenses increase and we want to keep those because we value them and inflation and all that, and our income can't increase, the only lever left to pull, which isn't ideal, is the decreased savings lever.
Yeah.
So we have to see life like that, and it's a moving, living thing.
So you mentioned before about future. For future, I don't think you said anything further than the word future. And you mentioned an example being holiday.
Yes.
So some get confused, disillusioned when they're saving for the future, which is the holiday, but in that same pool of funds is savings for shares or property or whatever it might be.
Yeah.
So are we separating those two accounts per se and from a structural point of view?
Yeah, well, I think it's important to take a break and we'll answer it right after this. We'll be back, guys.
If you're after personal financial advice, don't get it from a podcast. But if you want guidance tailored to your situation, head to moneypodcast.com.au and click Get Help. We'll connect you with one of our trusted professionals, financial advisors and mortgage brokers, who work with people right across Australia. No matter where you are, they can help. Now, before we get back to the show, a quick reminder to protect your financial life. That means having income protection sorted. It means having death cover if there's any debt or dependents relying on you. It means getting your personal insurance in order. Most people insure their car, they insure their house, but what about themselves? Sky Wealth, who support this podcast, are specialist financial advisors who can help you get the right cover in place. Their advice is often more comprehensive and better value than going direct through your super. Book a complimentary 15-minute chat at sky.com.au. That's skye.com.au, and they'll point you in the right direction.
One of the biggest things that I teach in the Glen James spending plan is to, in fact, try and quarantine your money. We don't have to. Again, there will be some personality types where they've just got the one big fat savings account.
Yeah.
It's an offset account. They run a spreadsheet. Oh, there's $52,000 in that account. I know $498 is for the ski pass in Spain, or where's it snow? Japan next year. Yeah. I know that $5,000 is the return airfare, and they can keep track of that. The problem is, and this is where online and other people telling people what to do with their money, you don't want to be getting advice from somebody who's a engineer who works for the National Actuaries Department of Australia, who can do everything down to the dollar. You're asking online or asking, how do you manage money? And they tell you their way that doesn't suit your personality. Yeah. You're going to last 5 seconds. And granted, the Glen James spending plan, it's more of a behavior modification tool to get someone started, and I can get you saving money within 3 pay cycles using the Glen James spending plan if you haven't before.
And then you can pivot from there if you need.
That's right. So I'm a big believer in quarantining.
Yeah.
If you have your mitts on every dollar that's around, it's okay to have your emergency fund in an online bank account with another bank, not on your offset account, because the value isn't the interest that it's offsetting. The value is that it's not in front of your freaking schnoz every time you open an app and you want to spend every living cent in the bastard.
People, funny beasts, people, they focus on cutting expenses and ignore the others. Is that common?
Well, it can be. I'm of the view that you're not going to get to financial prosperity from coupons and expense cutting.
No, agree.
You're going to get to financial prosperity relative to your life by focusing on the income side of the ledger.
So I'm a 4 cents a litre off petrol from Woolworths.
Yeah, we'll take it, but it's not moving the needle
Yeah.
in a significant way.
Yeah. So we need to apply the levers evenly?
Well, I think it's circumstantial to where you're at. But we know the 1%ers, you keep putting 1% on the table, it adds up to 100.
Yeah.
But if you want real meaningful financial success in your life, it's going to come from you, your income generation,
Yeah, ramp it up.
and having a system so, there's money falls through your hands each week, each month, each fortnight. Your financial success is knowing how much is going to stay in your hands.
All right. A lot of people may not have heard of this. Top down versus bottom up. Get your bottoms up. Explain the difference.
So in the money world, and particularly in business, I believe there are only 2 types of budgets or how you build a budget. It's the top-down approach or, as John said, the bottom-up approach. John, on the profit and loss statement for a business, what's at the very top of a profit and loss statement?
What is the top? Income.
Income. And what's at the bottom?
Well, right at the bottom is the net outcome.
Well, the expenses.
Expenses after that. Yeah.
So the way I teach the Glen James spending plan, it's effectively a bottom-up style, and I'll tell everyone why in a minute. So the bottom-up basically says we're going to list all our expenses. We wake up today, all our expenses. Okay, that gives us an amount, shat on toast. It costs us that much to wake up of the morning right now. Then we go, okay, and this is bottom-up's good if you are looking to start a business, and I would encourage you to go and listen to the This Is Business podcast because you can kind of go, look, these are all going to be our basic expenses to start this business. Okay, we need X amount a year to open the door of a morning.
Yeah.
So that means we need to make more than X amount of year just to cover those basic expenses. Then you can work backwards. The reason, so basically the bottom up is all expenses equals X. We need to have more than Y on the income to meet that.
Yeah.
So if you do this and you want to keep all your expenses and you don't want to decrease or pull levers, you're going to have to get more income to meet those expenses. The top-down style is which a lot of traditional budgeting is, where you list your income, then you go, okay, we've got X amount of income. We then want to allocate that to our expenses, our savings, and our future. And we've only got X amount to allocate. The reason that I teach the bottom up, because most people who come and do the Glen James spending plan, they haven't left school last year and got a full-time job still living at home with no expenses. They're carrying financial baggage. They've got gym memberships, they've got car insurance, they've got car loans, they've got life happening.
Real life.
It's easier for me to get people onto the right train by saying, let's just list out your current expenses and don't get confused because you mentioned before, like, what are the barriers? Oh, I can't do the budget now because I don't know how much the car rego is. Okay, it might be $700, it might be $900. Let's just throw $850 in there for now to get a bit of a skeleton happening. Then we'll come back and review that. The top down is good if you are just starting out or potentially you are the actuary who's working for the National Engineering Association, right? Because I don't want to tell people, come and do my spending plan, but on day one, I need you to sell your car and get rid of that. Day one, I want you to sell your gym membership. I want you to cut all these expenses because you're not going to stick to the system.
No, too much of a drastic change.
Yep. Now, the bottom down approach is really good if you've got kids that you're teaching them about money.
Yeah.
Like your kids, you just run a bottom down. Here's your income. We need to allocate. Don't spend more than that.
Yeah.
Because what's happened is the incumbent members of us who are out there in the world without a system just have all these expenses. And usually when people have credit card debt and personal loans, it's because the income doesn't exceed the expenses.
Yeah.
So that's why I teach the bottom up to start with. But if you are a greenfield, you've got teenagers, teach them the bottom down. Here's your income this week. Here's your income this month. Here's your income this year.
Top down, you mean?
Yeah, top down, sorry. Did I say bottom down?
Bottom down, yeah.
Top down, here's your income. First thing we're doing, we're carving 10 or 20% to save or invest. Burn that in. Where I can't teach someone by doing a bottom up or I'll rephrase that. I can't teach someone who's walked in off the street, they're 33 years old, they've had an income for 12 years. I can't say, right, day one, we're saving 20% of your income, champ. It's not going to work. One, the money's probably not there. Two, it'd be too much of a shock to the system. So let's get people finding out how much it costs them to live. Let's get a system going. Then we can go through and optimize line by line.
It's got an element of running away from something versus running towards something, isn't it? It's like, well, okay, am I driven by the goal I'm heading towards, or am I driven by the fear of not going to that space where I don't want to be in 5 years' time?
But we know if you pay attention to something, you'll get results. We know that. We know that if you have a savings target or a rock solid goal, you will make that happen.
Yeah.
Anything else in wrapping up that jumps out at you?
Yeah, look, I suppose this one here is an interesting one.
You are.
As well. Why do you prioritise setting up a system before aggressively paying down debt?
Yeah, that's good because it's akin to you want to start exercising. And I used to do this
Exercise?
You used to, yeah. I was thinking about this the other day.
Still playing pickleball?
Yeah. At least once a week. Well, it's just been raining recently, but yeah,
I thought it was indoors.
No. So I'll usually play Thursday night, and then I met some people at one of the social groups that they've got their own Saturday social crew. So I'm just so that's been fun. But it's important just to get acclimatized, and we don't want to go. So the first time I did pickleball, went out there, yeah, it's easy, no stretching. Freaking couldn't walk for 4 days after. It was like walking like a freaking mule, like
Michelin man.
So what we need to do, we need to ease people into it so the systems stick.
Train for a few weeks.
Yeah, or, let's just go, if you want to start jogging for a marathon, you're not saying, Glenn, you want to run the next half marathon. Go downstairs tomorrow morning and start running. You need to run up to Nobby's head. No, because I'm going to get puffed about 2 meters. It's like, why don't you just get out, run around the block, go back home, get on with your life. So it's building the habit and behavior. So what I want people to do, if they are new to budgeting, I want you to just put in the expenses all minimum debt repayments. If you're paying extra on your mortgage, on your personal loan, on your car loan, if you're prepaying $20 a week into your electricity bill, I want you to not factor all those extras in. Just put bare minimum. We need to know how much it costs you to wake up today based on minimum payments only, no extra savings, no extra advanced bill payments. Then we want to run the system for a few weeks because interest isn't your problem with your debt, friends. It's the fact that you spent too much money and you got to pay it back. That's the real kicker with credit cards and loans. Interest ain't your problem. You're the flippin' problem. You spent too much, you didn't have a system, and you're left with the debt.
Look it in the eye. All right, last one.
Oh.
If someone had only 1 hour to overhaul their money, I don't know why 1 hour, but let's go with that. What steps would you tell them to take?
I want them to, first and foremost, work out what type of person they are. So I want to overhaul my money. What's my natural proclivity? Am I likely to be a spender or a saver? A bit of both. We need to work that out. Then what I want you to do, I want you to list out every single expense that you have of a year. Every single expense.
Big exercise, but it's easier in 2025, isn't it?
The Glen James spreadsheet has pretty much everything that I could think of. There's some things there if you're like, oh, well, we've got to pay egg storage fees or something like that, add it in. But people don't think about, well, probably once a year you might need new tyres on the car. It could be $500. Add it in. So we just need to, we've got a pool. Have you put the freaking $400 a year pump service or some crap so everything.
And you can filter your bank app as well anyway,
Yeah,
can't you?
sometimes the categories aren't great.
No, but I mean just the filter of saying
Yes.
January 1 to December 31, how much did I spend?
Yeah, but the thing I like about this old school tactile spreadsheet, it's literally line by line. You've got to manually do it yourself
you learn
and
more.
feel,
Yeah.
shavers, I'm spending this much on that.
Yeah.
So
I'm just thinking about the hour time restraint.
So that's it. Just write it all down.
Yeah.
Just bush maths.
Yeah.
On balance, bush maths. I'm a spender. I'm a saver. What am I? Income expenses. Write it down. Do the spreadsheet. Then I want you to look between now and the last 12 months. Were you better financially or worse financially? If the answer is worse financially, let's try and make the next 12 months good.
Yeah.
So, and then within all that, my number one question to you, don't bother starting a new system. Don't bother doing anything unless you're actually ready.
Yep. And ready, you mean in your own mind?
You've hit rock bottom. I'm sick of living week on week. I'm sick of not having savings. I'm sick of, I've set up this investment account. I moved $1,000 across. Rego came up. I had to withdraw the $1,000. If you are not ready, don't bother because it's just wasting your time. And that's the same thing if you're trying to get out of debt. Don't get out of debt just to run back into debt. So many people will go, oh, I got rid of my 2 credit cards. Yay. Oh, I've got $200 a week now. I can spend $120 on a car.
Yeah.
Don't get out of debt just to run back into debt. You need to come to money Jesus moment and fully know that I'm ready to change. If you've already got a system, use the next hour just to go back in and optimize.
Yeah.
Have a look. Okay, I put here last year that the rates bill was $320 a quarter. Okay, well now it's $340. An update.
Do something.
Just
take action, and it's the one percenters, isn't it? Just consistently approaching it and owning it.
But there really is no right or wrong. You know the best? Well, actually, there is. Do you know the best money system there is?
The basic of just money in, money out, right?
No, the one that works for you, your personality, and your household. And by works, I mean you've got no financial stress in your life. You're not living week on week. You're not living on the edge. You're not freaking out. I don't have $20 to fuel up fuel. The best money system is the one that works for you, your personality, and allows you to live and breathe. And the Glen James spending plan, and it's a free online course, everyone. Do it. There's some old branding in there because it was when we had the old podcast name. I've got to reshoot it. That will relieve financial stress if you do it and give it 3 pay cycles. Guarantee it.
There you go. You heard it first.
I'll give you your money back.
It's what it's worth.
There you go. John Pidgeon, where can we find you? Over on the This Is Property podcast as well?
We can. Yes, talking everything property.
Yeah.
And what a heated beast that is at the minute.
It really is. Anyway, thanks so much for listening. Hope it's been encouraging. Bit of a 101. How to make more money or get more money in your life without earning more money. And we can do that by optimizing what's coming in and what's going out. My name's Glen James. If you found this useful, please share it with a friend or family member. Good night, all. Bye.
Any advice is general financial advice only, which does not take into account your objectives, financial situation, or needs. Because of that, you should consider if the advice is appropriate to you and your needs before acting on the information. If you do choose to buy a financial product, read the Product Disclosure Statement, PDS, and Target Market Determination, TMD, and obtain appropriate financial advice tailored to your needs. Simo Interactive Pty Ltd, the publisher of this podcast, and Glen James are authorised representatives of Money Sherpa Pty Ltd, which holds financial services license 451289. Opinions or comments from any guests on the podcast are theirs and not those of the host or the publisher or their respective license holders.